Twitterless Vogs, what is up, man?
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing awesome tonight. Just got home from my daughter's basketball practice. Been looking forward to talking some sports all day. Super glad you hit me up last week because haven't chatted with you in a while. I'm here to talk some cards, some sports.
Let's do it.
Awesome. I know you just told me you had a sweet Cooper Cup that you just got this week, and you shared it with me because you knew that we PC'd Cup for our son. So that's awesome.
Yeah, my friend got me hooked on him, and I liked him last year, and I liked him as a rookie. So it's cool. You PC him, Eloy Flores PCs him, and then my friend who lives like an hour and 30 minutes from me PCs him.
I was trying to look around and see if I had any sitting here because here's one. I was about to sub to PSA. Got a rookie out of 99.
Nice. Yeah, I need to get one of his autos. His auto is really cool.
Oh, my initials are CK. So are my son's too. So he's kind of signed to that CK. Looks like I should steal it, right?
Yeah, right. For real.
Well, speaking of Cooper Cup, man, he's gonna be in the Super Bowl. It's coming next weekend versus the Bengals. Like 2 hours away from me. Haven't been to the Super Bowl in 31 years. So is this the best playoffs we've ever seen? Like in your life? What do you think?
There have been a lot of good ones. There have been a lot of good playoffs. This is definitely up there because if you told me beginning of the playoffs that the Bengals would go this far, I would have said you're crazy. The Rams, yes. The Bengals, no. So, yeah, it's crazy. Like the Bengals beating the Titans, like all the games are really good. There's no real boring games. There hasn't been a game where you're like halfway through and you're like, man, I need to shut this off. This is boring.
Well, yeah, the only one I can think of that was a blowout too was the Pats and the Bills game. Bills smashed them.
Yeah, that was the only one. After halftime, I was like, man, it's over.
Yeah, 2 weekends ago, all four of them went to overtime. And last weekend we had one overtime, and then the Rams and Niners still ended. On the last possession, the Rams hit that field goal. The Niners were trying to drive and hit through that interception. So
that could have gone to overtime easily too, but I still would have picked the Rams in that game too.
Yeah, like you said, like not many people thought the Bengals, except maybe Bengals fans. Everybody thought, Chiefs or Bills. The NFC I thought was kind of wide open. I thought definitely the Packers were the cream of the crop, but they got taken down by the 49ers. Once it was I'm not a fan of the 49ers. Like I know they were there 2 years ago.
I agree.
It's like how do you make it?
I wasn't sold on them. I knew that they were going to run into a bump. I was like, I know. I remember hearing the analysts talk about like how they're like, yeah, the 49ers are like blah 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 and against the Rams in the whatever games. The Rams are I think it was like 7-8 or 8-0, and I'm like, dude. The Rams are going to use that as motivation, and this is a Rams team you do not want to face in the playoffs. You got Aaron Donald, Von Miller, Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham, Eric Weddle, Jalen Ramsey, a bunch of different weapons. I knew the 49ers, if they had to play the Rams or whoever, it was going to be a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, man, I think with the Bengals and the Rams, people are like, oh, two teams that, who are we going to root for? Where are their fan bases at? I think that's kind of the part of the appeal of this Super Bowl is there's no Mahomes, there's no Brady, there's no Peyton Manning, there's no Aaron Rodgers. The superstars just aren't there. I mean, Matt Stafford's going to have the whole state of Georgia and Michigan rooting for the Rams because how can you not like the guy who goes from a winless Detroit, picked 1 overall, to the Rams and going to the Super Bowl? And then, the Bengals.
In his first season.
Yeah, the Midwest team that, the hard workers, you got to love Joe Burrow, comes from LSU, national championship, and then gets hurt his rookie year, comes in this year. Him and Jamar Chase are just unbelievable, unstoppable. So I think it's going to appeal to more of the fan base of just random people who want to tune in than just, just the Bengals fans, just the Rams fans. Because like I said, you don't have that superstar. I got to tune in to see Patrick Mahomes. You're tuning in like, this Joey B guy is pretty good. Like, all right, I see you, Odell. Like you said, Von Miller's going to have all the Broncos want to root for Von Miller to win. So you got 3 states now, plus California rooting for the Rams. So half the population of the United States rooting for the Rams right there.
Yep.
So who do you think wins?
I got the Rams. I got the Rams.
See,
I got the
I'm really
Rams.
torn. Being from Ohio, it's like, man, all my buddies who grew up Browns or Bengals fans, except me being a Broncos guy, it's like 50% of my friends love the Bengals. I want to root with them. You like Joe Burrow, you like the hometown Ohio kid. It's like, okay, you like Stafford. I like Cooper Kupp, Von Miller. I want to root for him. Odell Beckham, I want to root for him. He seems likable to me, even though a lot of people hate him. They say he's bad for the
He's more
locker room.
likable now, yeah.
Yeah, I think like right now, I think I want to root for the Rams, but on game day, I got a feeling I'm gonna root for the Bengals, but I think the Rams are gonna win.
I think the Rams are going to win by at least 7 to 10 points. I think that Von Miller and Aaron Donald are going to be way too much for the Bengals O-line.
I mean, Joe Burrow got knocked down a bunch versus Kansas City, but he didn't get sacked.
I think this Rams defense is ferocious, like I said.
Yeah. Who do you think is the MVP this year? Who do you think wins MVP?
Aaron Rodgers.
You don't think they're going to go with Brady just because he retired? Give him another ring, give him another last year. Give him
I
another
feel
MVP?
like they would, but I feel like Aaron Rodgers deserves it this year on how he's playing. I know not a lot of people are fans of him anymore, like because of what he did and saying about the whole vaccine and stuff, but I think Rodgers had a heck of a year.
Yeah, Shay's in the chat. He says, "Who day, damn it." So he's a big Bengals fan, and living close to Cincinnati, I know he's super happy about that. Yeah, I see Rodgers, like Cooper Kupp had.
I have Cooper Kupp as my offensive player of the year.
Yeah, so I think it's more of a quarterback driven
award. Yeah.
They have offensive player of the year and stuff, which I'm going to agree with you that I think it's going to be Rodgers, and then Kupp gets offensive player of the year. I think Jamar Chase gets rookie of the year. He overtook Mac Jones at the end of the season. The beginning of the season, everybody's like, Mac Jones. It's got to be Mac Jones. Like,
and then Jamar Chase, boom.
Mac Jones is Ben Roethlisberger Jr. He just came into a perfect situation to succeed. Like Trey Lance next year in San Francisco is in a perfect situation to succeed. I mean, look what Jimmy Garoppolo did this year, and they say he's on the way out. So Trey Lance has a team that went to the NFC Championship game and lost by 3, and all of a sudden you're going to be the starting quarterback. Like, that's just a perfect situation. Mac Jones went to a team
I agree with the rookie of the year. Yeah, Jamar Chase by far.
And for the defensive side, I think we're going to go with Micah Parsons. I really like what Pat 100%. Surtain did in Denver. Any other year, it's Pat Surtain all day long, but Micah Parsons he's so good. Like, I remember
Parsons was a huge difference maker for their Cowboys defense because you can line him up anywhere, D end, linebacker. He's going to tackle and go after that ball.
Yeah, so I mean, I wanted Denver to draft was Parsons, but we needed a defensive back, so they went Surtain.
Surtain's special too. I like Surtain.
He is just so good, man. Unbelievable.
Yes,
sure. I got a bunch of Surtain cards, Chase cards. I send all my Parsons to Kevin Fee because who collects defensive guys? You know what I'm saying? So he likes them.
No one really.
But enough people send me cups and Jesse Winkers. I gotta pay them all back. So
yeah, I know what you mean.
So one other question I was thinking about talking to some buddies was I think the 2000 Duke team is the best team to not win it all. A lot of people say, okay, what about the undefeated Patriots who lost to the Giants? Okay, well they still lost, but then that Duke team was stacked, like unreal. For me, it's also for the Broncos. Like, oh, in 2012, you guys were 14-2. Peyton Manning broke all the records, and then lose to Joe Flacco in the playoffs. Like the 96-97 team was better. The Elway driven team lost to Jacksonville in the divisional round when it was 3rd and long. Michael Dean Perry's running off the field, walks at the end. They get a 12-man on the field penalty. They stop him, but Jacksonville gets another play because Michael Dean Perry didn't hustle off the field. Jacksonville goes down, scores, wins the game. Then after that, Denver wins 2 straight Super Bowls. Like Denver, the best team for the Broncos was that squad that lost to Jacksonville. But just thinking all of them, Chase says the 2015 Kentucky Wildcats too. So That's changed, and I'm going with the 2000 Duke team.
That Duke team was good. I'm a Tar Heel fan, but
They're
that's
playing
beside
this
the point.
weekend. They're playing this weekend.
Yeah. I've got either those 07 Patriots, like you said, or it's gonna break my heart, but it's gonna make you happy. The 2015 Panthers. Oh, I'm sorry. Um, yeah, no, the 2015 Panthers that lost the Super Bowl to the Broncos, the 15-1 Panthers.
Oh yeah, they were 15-1. I didn't realize that. I
They
just
were
remember
15-1.
Von Miller had that play on Cam, and after that, game was over from there.
Game was over. And
Yeah,
you know what? It's funny because I was actually kind of torn in that game, even though the Panthers are my first team because I live in North Carolina. My grandparents live in Denver, so
yeah.
I was partially torn.
I'll never be torn ever when it's the Broncos, but yeah, my cousin works for the Panthers, so it was like, oh, cool, he gets to do all this fun stuff and tell me all about it. But yeah, you're talking about losses, man. That Super Bowl 2 years before when Denver lost to Seattle was kind of the same as the Panthers. I remember, Peyton Manning, you're looking over here and all of a sudden the ball gets snapped over your head and you get a loss
43-8.
You're down
Unbelievable.
You're down a lot real early, and it's like, okay, it's just impossible to come back from that. So it's kind of like with the Panthers, Denver got up so much so early, it was like almost impossible.
And none of our guys could catch. It was terrible.
Yeah, and we had the unbelievable defense there too.
Yes, you did. Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware. Yeah, that was an amazing defense.
Yeah, don't forget you had Aqib Talib, Chris Harris Jr., Champ Bailey had just left the team, but you got Boss Ward back there, and
yep, that was a good Broncos team. That was a fun Broncos team. I give them credit.
So you're a Panthers fan. Is the 15-1 team your favorite year of all time for the Panthers?
Probably, most likely, yeah.
Well, one question I thought of that just popped up, I didn't send you earlier, is I saw the checklist for Series 1 Baseball 2022. What product in 2022 are you looking forward to opening?
I don't really know, actually. I'm a Yankee fan. I'm a Panther fan. I'm excited to open anything, really.
That's awesome. I'm really not excited to open Prism and Optic football. It's like season's already over. You're coming out like 4 months late. I know those are going to be, the hot products at the time, but it's like, okay, where's my Don Russ rated rookie Joe Burrows? I'm going to get those sold now because I'm not a Burrow fan.
Yeah.
When Prism comes out, everyone's going to want the Prisms. They're going to want the Optics. Obviously,
no one's going to want the other ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, it's different years, but still, when the new shiny thing comes out, people want the new shiny thing,
Exactly.
Well,
I 100% agree with you.
Unbelievable, man. Well, the economy and like life's been shut down for almost 2 years. I mean, just last summer we started getting to go to events again, like full time. I remember we went to Red's opening day last year. It was me, my dad, and my daughter. We had 3 seats. All the seats around us were zip tied closed, so you couldn't sit next to anybody.
Wow.
And so 2022's here. People are going to things again. I always went to a Blue Jackets game with my boy Scott, Scotties.com on Twitter. He lives down the street from me a couple days ago. So in 2022, Vogs, what event would you like to go to if you could, or that you're planning on going to that you're most looking forward to?
Well, I go to a lot of Hornets games because I live in Charlotte. So it's kind of fun because we have LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges, a good up-and-coming team. And next week, I'm actually going to the Hornets Grizzlies game, so it'll be fun to see 2 young guards, LaMelo Ball against Ja Morant.
That is awesome. I'm kind of said I want to go to that too. So,
hey man, if you ever come to Charlotte,
yeah,
I'll buy you a ticket.
My aunts and uncles and cousins and stuff live down there. We're planning a trip in the summertime. I saw today too a story where the Duke Carolina games in Carolina this weekend. Next month in Duke. There's already kids camping out in Krzyzewskiville because that's Coach K's last home game as their head coach. They're camping out a month ahead of time for those tickets. So there's 847 students in 70 different tents, according to ESPN.
It's probably freezing out.
Like, yeah, it's
It's
Terry
crazy.
Paul, what's up? Tom's watching. Che's here. So that's
Yeah,
cool.
I made a video shouting it out, so I hope some of my people come out too.
That's awesome, man. I'm really looking forward to going to a Broncos game in Denver. Haven't been. This will be the 6th year, so I haven't been in 5 years. Last time we went, my wife was pregnant with our daughter, but my 40th birthday is this year. So my wife and I are planning on going out to Las Vegas for a couple days and hitting the Broncos on the way back. Hopefully that, my birthday is in October. They have a home game that weekend. But if they don't, then just, sometime we can go and hit up Las Vegas for 2 days and then swing through Denver on the way home. Just my wife and I too, leave my kids here
Nice.
with the neighbors and my parents and have a good time. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, like I said, my grandparents live in Denver, and I'm a Panther fan and a Bronco fan. I love Mile High Stadium. It's my favorite stadium in the NFL.
Where have I been?
I've only been to Panthers and Mile High, and that's it.
No, yeah, okay.
It sucks.
I don't say. I'm trying to think of which ones I've been to. I really liked Ford Field in Detroit. That was nice.
I heard that's an interesting one.
Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, I think, has got to be up there for me. I really didn't like Buffalo.
Really?
Buffalo was not cool.
Orchard Park, it looks cold.
It's just in the middle of a neighborhood too. Like I parked in some lady's front yard, walked to the game. It was kind of weird. Like it's not in Buffalo. It's like 45 minutes, like you said, Orchard Park. Pittsburgh was cool. Tampa's really cool too. We went down there. My buddy's got season tickets. Broncos played there. We just happened to be in Orlando. He's like, "Hey, I got these tickets. You want to come down?" I'm like, "Yeah, 2-hour drive. Let's do it." So that was a good time.
Why not?
Yeah. So do you have? I wrote you some notes on this saying let's show off a couple of PC cards. Did you bring anything to show?
Yeah, I brought 2, but what sport are we talking?
Anything you want, man. Just whatever you like to show off. This is because it made me think of it. Somebody put on Twitter like, is someone mad because someone's showing off, your cards? Like, isn't that what we're supposed to do? Like, you hit stuff, you buy stuff, you show people. They're like, oh, cool, that's sweet.
So I went to Del Curry's basketball camp when I was a kid, and I got to meet Steph, and Steph signed this card.
Sorry, I kicked myself out there. Is that in-person auto?
Yeah. And then I have this, I think this is from the 50s or maybe early 60s. This Mickey Mantle I really like.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
You have it in a loose one touch?
Yeah. I need to protect it better.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. I have a lot of very cool stuff. It's mainly behind me in boxes, but
all my stuff's kind of right there. There's all my autographs and stuff right there, and
nice.
Back over there, you can see my mess of a room. Got cards sitting everywhere, boxes over here, just stuff.
Yeah.
I told you before my wife started taking over the room, so I need to clean up. So I brought 2 cards I have sitting here for obvious reasons. I got the Peyton Manning on campus.
Nice. That's
Actually,
sick.
I bought this from Che for a charity auction. He was raising money. I think this was from the fires out in Kansas. Garrett was raising money for stuff, and we were
very cool.
So I was super excited about that. And I'll always show this one. It's a 1-of-1 Jerry Jeudy Drew Lock RPA.
That's so cool.
One day, someone throws this up on Twitter, right? It's like, hey, this is for sale. I'm like, oh, I have to have it. So I've got a bunch of I had at the time a bunch of basketball sealed wax sitting back here. I'm like, all right, who wants this? Who I need to sell $350. I don't remember the exact number. I'm just going to say that worth of this basketball so I can buy this card. And all my buddies like, no, you don't want to sell your basketball. Basketball's so fun. We love basketball. I'm like, all right, kind of talked me out of it. Then I talked myself back into it, like, hey, I want to buy this card. It's like, oh, sorry, I already sold. Well, little did I know that all my buddies had gotten together. My buddy Kevin and Garrett and Che and Tom and a bunch of people got together and Jamie to buy the card. And Kevin Fee had bought the card for me and was gathering money from all of our buddies to give it to me because they knew, I really wanted this. I was selling all my good stuff to, buy it. And so that to me is one of those
Card community love, baby. Card
Yeah,
community love.
that's one of those that like I'll tell my wife like bury me with that because that's
Yeah.
representative of all that is good in the world because that's just when your friends come together and do something
Oh
like that.
yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, so pretty much anytime I get a chance to show it off, I do because
Oh, dude, it's a nice card. Yeah.
absolutely. And I remember too because Drew Lock may or may not be a Bronco. Judy might get traded to Green Bay too. I've heard some rumors, in a Aaron Rodgers deal, but I'm always gonna love it. So
Yeah. That is a sick card.
So have you been to many sporting events? You
Yeah,
say
I've
you go to
been to
Hornets
quite a
games a
bit.
lot, right?
Yeah. I've been to Hornets, Panthers, Clemson football. Yeah, I've been to a lot.
So what's the most fun that you've had at a live sporting event?
Probably because I'm a Clemson fan, 2016, I got to see Deshaun Watson versus Lamar Jackson, Clemson versus Louisville.
Oh wow.
In Clemson, yeah, that was a fun game. Clemson won by a touchdown, and I remember the ending's always implanted in my head. They were going for it on fourth down, Louisville. They threw it to their receiver, and he stretched out, and he was the ref. I was like, oh gosh, he's gonna be like this. He was going near the ball, and I was like, oh, he's gonna be like first down. He turned around and he said, Clemson ball that way, and everyone went crazy.
Man,
It
that's awesome.
was it was an insane game. It was probably one of the best games I've ever been to.
Yeah, this one was real tough for me because I go to like 20 games a year, so I've been to hundreds. Um, the most fun I've ever had is actually where my team got blown out. My buddy's a big Michigan fan, and I'm a big Notre Dame guy. So we went to Michigan at Notre Dame. Going to Notre Dame at Michigan was the most fun I've ever had. It is pouring down rain, like torrential downpours in like 50 degrees. No, it's got to be like 40 degrees. I remember being freezing cold. And we're out in this downpour. Like you can see it in the lights. Your feet are sloshy. Your pants are sloshy. I've got all waterproof everything. Um, Also like ponchos, like 10 of them, and just soaked to the bone. Most fun I've ever had. Notre Dame lost by like 30, but we had tickets on like the 30-yard line right behind Michigan's bench, like 10 rows up, because my friend had season tickets there. They're like, it's pouring down rain. We're not going. I'm like, okay, our seats are way over there, so we're just going to take yours, like whatever. But going with my best friend to that in Michigan, I've never been to like an inclement weather game like that before. I knew it was just
No, I've never been. I've been to a monsoon game when Clemson played Louisville a few years ago. In Clemson, it was literally, I think, a monsoon.
Yeah. I had such a hard time. I went to I've been to Duke games in Duke. That's crazy when you're right there on the floor. Saw Indiana at Duke when Zion, RJ, and Cam were playing. In Denver, the first time I went, I literally like cried when I was getting to the stadium. Like, I told my neighbor, like, it's almost like making a pilgrimage. Like, did you just compare the Broncos to like religion? Like, you know what I've done every Sunday for the last 35 years of my life is watch the Broncos. Like, I've gone to church for like 5 years, but I've watched the Broncos every year for 35 years.
For real.
And then you finally get to the stadium, like, yeah, dude, I did. So, I mean, then the Blue Jackets when they swept Tampa is the loudest I've ever heard a stadium. Like, couldn't hear for a week. It was crazy.
That's crazy.
What's the loudest you've ever heard a stadium?
There's been a bunch. There's been a whole bunch.
Well, you said you're a Yankees fan. Have you been to Yankees games?
Not for ages. When I normally go to New York, my cousins live near the Mets stadium, so I go to some Mets games.
I've never been to New York, so that's one place I'd like to go. Take one of those summer trips where you hit up like 10 ballparks, do it a couple years in a row.
Those are cool. Those are fun. Those look fun.
So what's your favorite ballpark you've ever been to?
Fenway.
Fenway. Wow. That's awesome.
Fenway's gorgeous. Fenway's unreal.
I really like PNC in Pittsburgh. You ever been there?
I hear PNC's gorgeous. I've heard really nice things about PNC. I've been to Fenway. I've been to City. I've been to Old Shea. I've been to Old Yankee. I've not been to New Yankee.
I've been to both Chicago's, Detroit, Pittsburgh, Tampa, San Diego, and Washington. I went to Washington this last summer. My cousin got married, and my other cousin lives in DC. So when we came back, he was taking me to the airport like the next morning. So I was staying with him. He's like, hey, the Nats got a home game today. You want to go? Like, absolutely, let's do it. So we just got tickets like 10 minutes before the game and went. It was awesome.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Tom said he was at a Chiefs and Broncos game in the old Mile High, the loudest stadium's ever been, and it was a third away as loud. The new Mile High is a third as loud, in his opinion. I never went to the old Mile High, just the new one. Did you ever go to the old Mile High, Vogs?
I think I went to the.
Well, they've had the new
can't
ones.
remember.
Like
it was like the
1990s.
2000s when I went.
Well,
So
yeah, that's
probably
the
new Mile
2000s
High.
would be the new one.
Yeah, so the new Mile High, yeah. Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Even though I'm a Panther fan, I think it kills our stadium by a mile.
Yeah, it's just it can. He said he was screaming as loud as he could and couldn't hear himself. It's like being at a Foo Fighters concert, Tom. I mean, that's how it is. You're trying to sing along with Dave Grohl and you can't hear anything. I mean, except Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters, because it's incredible.
Exactly right.
Yeah, but I mean, Cincinnati's got an awesome stadium. Tampa's is a trashville. It's gross. Like I don't even want to go.
The
back.
Bucks.
No, the Buccaneers is awesome. At the Tampa.
The Rays. Yeah, I heard
the
that's
Rays.
awful.
We went down. It was in the fall, and they were in a pennant race with the Red Sox, and it was like a third of the way full. We bought like upper nosebleeds, and then traded our way up to like right behind the dugout for like $10, and nobody was even in the stadium. It was crazy. People who were there weren't even watching the game. They were there to make it, like social hours.
I don't even think Rays fans like the Rays.
No, you just got to like Wander Franco and Ariz Arena and
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so well, that's all I got to talk about tonight, man. Do you have anything you want to bring up? I know I sent you some notes, but
I've got nothing else, man.
No. Awesome. Well, I'm going to go get my daughter to bed then. We've been on for about a half an hour. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I'm just so used to doing shows with Tom or Che. It's like getting back to doing by myself. Like, hey, thanks for joining us. Like there's nobody else here. It's just me. And
yeah, man.
Awesome. So thank you so much. I'm going to say go Rams. So yeah.
Yep. Go Rams.
All right. If you're watching now, you guys have a good night. If you're watching later, you probably already turned us off. So peace, everybody. Thanks, man.